9 p.m. in RTD time to English Edition. For tonight headlines we have celebration of the World Customs Day in Djibouti. For the international scene, the EU to launch security operations in the Red Sea. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the patronage of the acting Prime Minister Ali Hassan Badoun, the General Directorate of Customs and Indirect Duties celebrate International Customs Day with a great pomp and ceremony. This annual event was attended by several members of the government, including the Minister of Budget, Ismail Ibrahim Roble, members of parliament, as well as numerous civilian and military personalities. The theme of this year's event was Customs Mobilizing its historical and new partners around clear objectives is a strategic call to action, encouraging us to broaden our perspective, think creatively, and adopt innovative approaches. This is essential if customs administrations are to continue to play their role as facilitator of world trade and guarantors of security in a rapidly changing environment. At the same time, it is actively seeking and developing new links with a wider range of partners, including financial institutions, environmental organizations, NGOs, and academic institutions. According to the General Directorate of Customs and Indirect Duties, in 2024, Djibouti Customs is committed to deepening it and enriching established relationship to ensure and that they remain strong, relevant, and mutually beneficial. This event is also an opportunity to salute the daily efforts of the men and women who make up this regal institution in mobilizing revenue, facilitating trade, and combating smuggling, trade songs and dances, musical entertainment, sketches, and the national languages. At the screening of a documentary retracing the history of Djiboutian customs punctuated the ceremony, which began with the readings of the verses from the Holy Quran. At the end of the ceremony, certificates were presented to a number of key civilian and military figures. And listen to the first regional director general.
These accomplishments stand as a testament to the collaborative efforts of our dedicated team and the unwavering support from our esteemed partners. Namely, they have extended working hours in pursuit of service excellence. Customs working hour was extended from 8 a.m., 5 p.m. to 8 a.m., 8 p.m. This extension
Ambassador of the European Union said that this is essential if customs administrations are to continue to play their role as a facilitator of world trade and guarantors of security in a rapidly changing environment. At the same time, it is actively seeking and developing new links with a wider range of partners, including financial institutions, environmental organizations, NGOs, and academic institutions. Mr. Guled Ahmed Yusuf, Director General of the Customs and Indirect Duties, praised the efforts made by public institutions, historical partners of customs, which have undoubtedly led to the achievement of clear and tangible objectives. He took to the stage to emphasize this year's theme, customs services mobilizing its historical and new partners around the clear objectives. This great lead forward sums up the new direction is in terms of action, strategy, and including consolidation and commitment with the historical partners, but also forging new partnership. The Minister of Budget, Ismail Ibrahim Roble, expressed his appreciation of the enormous facilities provided by the new functionalities of the customs clearance system, which have the merit of reconciling speed, costs of reductions, and transparency of the logistics chain. Budget Minister then paid a heartfelt tribute to the men and women who make up the customs institution, whose day-to-day efforts are precisely what prevent state revenue from being eroded by the proliferations of smuggling, fraud, and illicit activities. The acting Prime Minister Ali Hassan Bahdoun in turn praised the modernization work undertaken over many years by the Customs Administration to keep pace with the challenges of our times in view. The vast reforms project that's launched takes on its full dimension when we consider the immense ambitions that drive our country to become a hub for trade in the region. The theme of this year's International Customs Day was customs services mobilizing its historical and new partners around clear objectives. His Excellency Ambassador Isa Khaira Roble, Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to Sudan and Special Envoy of the President of the Republic, delivered a written letter from the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, to the Chairman of the Sovereign Transitional Council in Sudan, Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, at the Palais des Invités in Port Sudan. The President of the Sudanese Sovereign Council underlined his country's determination to develop relations with Djibouti in all areas. For his part, Ambassador Isa Khaira Roble declared that Sudan is a brotherly country, that the Republic of Djibouti is always keen to ensure Sudanese sovereignty and territorial integrity, and is deploying great efforts to find a solution to end the crisis in Sudan. As part of the National Solidarity Week, the National Union of Djiboutian Women, in close collaboration with the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity, organized an important ceremony at the UNFD headquarters this morning to promote empowerment and community development activities. The event was held under the theme, "True Solidarity is not about helping, but empowering." In addition to the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Hiba Momin Athawe, the Minister of Town Planning and Housing, Amina Abdi, and the Minister of Women and Family, Muna Osman. The ceremony also saw the participation of several women and girls beneficiaries of the various empowerment programs, including literacy, socio-professional integration via technical vocational training set up by UNFD in close collaboration with the MAS. Today's activity demonstrates the social policy of the President of the Republic implemented by the MAS, which aims at economic graduations of vulnerable households to empower them and thus lift them out of poverty. The ceremony saw the presentations of certificate and kits to the literacy graduates and training girls. This empowerment of young girls has taken place via several channels.
Sinna lay halilo halilla libaro habak samiyay lay halilo halilla dabise hagatikino lay halilo halilla tesgelle hagatayunta lay halilo halilla lay halilo halilla libaro habau kokilla lay halilo halilla
The representative of the World Food Programme said that today's activity demonstrates the social policy implemented by the MAS, which aims at the economic gradations of vulnerable households to empower them and thus lift them out of poverty. This program will support these households in the creation of income-generating activities to ensure the empowerment and resilience of vulnerable communities. This certificate and kits will enable these young people to start up their activities as they have undergone vocational and technical training adapted to the needs of the job market. The Secretary General of UNFD, Fatuma Musa Alis, was placed on UNFD's collaborations in popularizing and raising community awareness of the projects and actions undertaken for the benefit. Today's activity demonstrated the social policy of the President of the Republic implemented by the MAS, which aims at the economic graduation of the vulnerable household to empower them and thus lift them out of poverty. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Lufa Ismail Abdo, has hammered also the banking of vulnerable households excluded from the traditional banking systems at CPEC to receive their social benefits. Plus, the Minister reminded us of the importance of empowering mothers. Today activities demonstrate the social policy of the President of the Republic implemented by the MAS, which aims at the economic graduation of vulnerable households to empower them and thus lift them out of poverty. Just after the ceremony to promote activities for empowerment and community development, this event took place under the theme True Solidarity is not about assisting but empowering. Certificates and kits were handed over to the young girls who had received them from government officials. On February 1st, 2024, under the aegis of the Ministry of Youth and Culture, the National Promotion of Cultures Agency took delivery of the first batch of definitive archives, both physical and digitized from the Presidency of the Republic. The operation took place with the NPC National Archives Department. This major collaborative project between the General Directorate, the General Secretary of the Government, and the Ministry of Youth and Culture marked the first phase in the transfer of the definitive presidential archives. An official ceremony marked this stage, including the signing of the slip detailing the terms of transfer by the heads of the entities involved in the process. Mr. Farha Yassin Jama, representing the Presidency's Documentation and Archives Department, and the NPC General Director Mohammed Hussein Douale. The ceremony was attended by the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Momin Asawi, the Secretary General of the Government, Al-Mis Mohammed Abdullahi, the Director, the head of the ANSI, and the head of the Archives Department of the Presidency, Ms. Farha Yassin, the head of the Department of the National Archives, as well as senior executives from the post-public institution and NPC officials. In his address, the Secretary General of the Government, Al-Mis Mohammed Abdullahi, underlining the duty of every public institution to preserve its archives and transfer the final ones to the National Archives Department dedicated to this noble task of preserving and conserving heritage. For Mr. Al-Mis Mohammed Abdullahi, preserving archives is imperative to respect and honor the past as well as the efforts of the predecessor who contributed to the country's development. In her speech, the Minister of Youth and Culture congratulated the Presidency of the Republic and the General Secretary of the Government for their fundamental actions in carrying out the missions entrusted to the National Archives. She described this as a pioneer act demonstrating a concrete commitment to the preservation of the country's history and cultural heritage. The seminar on the economic issues and development in Djibouti ended today, Thursday, February 1st, 2024, at the Institute of Diplomatic Studies in partnership with the European Union. The event was part of a series of training courses for executives from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Djiboutian diplomats, and those responsible for international issues in sectoral ministries. The aim of the seminar was to enhance the participant skills in analyzing economic concept and strategic development planning by providing them with the specific tools and concrete example. Participants also deepened their general knowledge of development challenges and objectives set out in the various agenda at both international and local levels and mobilization mechanism. The seminar was closed by the director of the Institute, Mohamed Abdul Qadir Musa, who distributed certificate to the participants. For his part, the director of the Institute, Mohamed Abdul Qadir Musa, congratulated the participants on their commitment and attendance through the seminar and stressed the importance of this training cycle in strengthening the skills of diplomats and senior executives in Djibouti and preparing them to become players in their country's development. The two sub-prefects of the 1st and 2nd district, in the collaboration with the Directorate of the Roads and the police, jointly held a meeting this morning to discuss a new strategy to combat unsanitary conditions in the meeting rooms of the two sub-prefects. The meeting was also attended by the sub-prefect of the 1st district, Mr. Abdi Hassan, and the sub-prefect of the 2nd district, Haibi Hared, the deputy director of the Djibouti Road Authorities, the head of the two districts, the elders president of the district councils, head of the Boul'Aus Commune, and head of the CDC of the various districts of Boul'Aus Commune. The aim of the meeting was to put in place a neighborhood management mechanism that would address the concern of local residents, as well as to draw up an action plan covering several areas for the well-being of the population. The meeting was part of the implementation of a new management method for household and solid waste. At the end of the meeting, neighborhood councils, local elected officials, and center managers raised a number of important issues, namely the situations of the solutions to the problem. On Wednesday, January 2024, the Dao Hussam 2 flying the Sri Lankan flag, which had left in the port of Djibouti on the evening of the 30 January, bound for Yemen, was shipwrecked off Ras Bir with a crew of 5 people, all of Yemeni origin. The Djibouti Coast Guard and the Djiboutian Navy immediately responded to the scene of the wreck, rescuing and saving the Dho's crew. During the investigation conducted by the search brigade, the investigations of judicial affairs, the Dho's pilot stated that during their navigation of Ras Bir, part of the hull under the engine suddenly broke away, causing major damage and water ingress, which sank the Dho. According to the departures manifest, the Dho was carrying a variety of goods. The Djiboutian Coast Guard and the Djiboutian Navy are engaged in a major operation to recover the cargo, which washed up on the beach and whose pesticides represent the most serious threat to marine flora and fauna. As part of the 32nd round editions of the Alpha Marathon scheduled for tomorrow in Djibouti, Djibouti's athletes arrived yesterday afternoon, and since they have been intensifying their training and preparing with the determination to take part in this renowned sporting event at the Djibouti semi-marathon scheduled for tomorrow, the athletes expressed their deep gratitude to the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, for his support via to the EOJ Fund, the State Secretariat in charge of sport, for its commitment to top-level sport athletes. The latter generously took charge of various logistical aspects, including accommodations and catering, provided in exemplary fashion at the Sheraton Hotel. Strongly determined, the athletes say they are ready to take up the challenge and fly the national flag. The 23rd round editions of the half marathon represent much more than just a competition for these committed athletes. It is an opportunity to demonstrate their endurance, discipline, and dedication to their country. As part of the fight against drug trafficking, gendarmes from the PICA 12 Road Brigade have pulled off a major cap, resulting in the seizures of 12 kilograms of cannabis. All began with the tip of that a shipment of narcotic was on its way from the borders of Djibouti. The gendarmes therefore carried out what is known in the jargon as a controlled transaction, tracking the illicit merchandise to the traffickers rather than just arresting the carriers. With this in mind, the presumed trafficker was lodged in a dwelling used a drop-off point in the commune of Balbala. With the assistance of the territorial competent brigade, the investigators found the suspected trafficker and his two accomplices, including the suspected transporter. The search led to the discovery of a 50 cup of cannabis herb, 12 kilograms, with a street values of over 715,000 Djibouti francs. These narcotics were destined for sale in local schools. Referred to the public prosecutor, the three suspects were imprisoned in Gabon civil prison. For the international scene, European Union member states are preparing to launch naval missions in the Red Sea by mid-February to protect the ship from attacks by Yemen's Houthi militants. The Houthi-controlled territories of Yemen have become a hot spot of maritime unrest, with attacks targeting ships perceived to be associated with Israel. The Houthi claim solidarity with the Palestinians in the ongoing Israeli military offensive in the Gaza, presenting their actions as a response to what they see as a genocide in the occupied Palestinian territory. Mr. Borrell said that EU operation would be called Upside Protector, and that its mandate would be to protect trade and intercept attacks, but not to take part in the strikes against the Houthi. Around 40% of the EU's trade with the Asian and Middle Eastern countries passes through the waters of the Red Sea. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.